Every single day, you are either designing your destiny or drifting through default. The difference between the life you want and the life you have isn't found in giant leaps. It's hidden in small, consistent daily habits. Most people overestimate what they can do in a month, but they underestimate what they can do in a year when they decide to live with daily discipline. Today, I want to show you that just 3 habits done with purpose and persistence can completely change your life forever. Let's start with first one, win the morning, win the day. How you start determines how you finish. The way you begin your morning is a declaration of who's in control, you or your circumstances. Most people wake up reacting. They grab their phone, scroll through negativity, and start their day already behind. But champions wake up with intention. They understand that the first hour is sacred. When you rise early, you give yourself time to align with your vision before the world demands your attention. That's the hour where you pray, you think, you plan, and you prepare your mind for victory. Because if you don't command your morning will command you. When you own your first hour, you own your future. The second habit is to feed your mind before you feed your body. Your mind is the soil of your destiny, and every thought you plant produces a harvest. If you plant fear, doubt, and distractions, don't be surprised when your life reflects confusion and inconsistency. But if you plant faith, purpose, and wisdom, your life begins to reflect order and abundance. Before you eat breakfast, consume truth. Read something that challenges your thinking. Listen to something that elevates your spirit. Speak words that agree with your future, not your past. Because what goes into your mind first thing in the morning sets the tone for how you respond to everything else during the day. You can't expect to think like a leader if you feed your mind with content designed for entertainment instead of elevation. The third habit is to take one intentional action every single day toward your vision. Progress doesn't come from perfection. It comes from consistency. Every day you take one deliberate step toward your goal. You strengthen your identity as someone who follows through. Don't wait for motivation. Move with discipline. Discipline is doing what you said you would do, long after the feeling in which you said it has faded. Some days you'll feel powerful, other days you'll feel drained, but the key is to show up anyway, because consistency compounds. One action a day might not seem like much, but over time, it builds unstoppable momentum. You can't control how fast results come, but you can control how faithful you are to the process. And as you move through your day, remember to speak life, not limitation. Words create worlds. The conversation you have with yourself will either empower you or imprison you. Stop saying, I can't. Assign time, I'm tired, and saying, I'll never make it. Those words drain your power. Start saying, I'm equipped, when saying I'm prepared, and I'm becoming who I'm meant to be. Speak what you desire until your reality aligns with your declaration. Every word you speak plants a seed in the garden of your destiny, and one day you'll eat the fruit of your own speech. So speak life, because your voice carries the frequency of your future. Before you close your eyes each night, take a moment to reflect and recalibrate. Review your day not with judgment, but with awareness. Ask yourself, what did I do well? What can I do better tomorrow? Growth requires reflection. You can't transform what you refuse to evaluate. Every night is a new opportunity to reset, to forgive yourself, and to plan with purpose for the next day. Don't carry yesterday's weight into tomorrow's opportunity. Rest with peace, knowing that progress is made not by perfection, but by persistence. And finally, honor small wins while expecting big miracles. Most people dismiss these small steps because they don't look spectacular. But every giant tree began as a seed that someone protected, watered, and believed in before it was visible. When you celebrate small progress, you build the momentum that attracts greater breakthroughs. Gratitude and faith are the two forces that magnetize miracles. When you thank God for what you have while believing for more, you position yourself for divine acceleration. So if you want to change your life forever, it won't come from waiting for the perfect opportunity. It will come from mastering 3 daily habits: command your morning, feed your mind, and take one intentional step every single day. Live with discipline, speak with power, and walk with purpose. Because success doesn't come to the most talented or the most intelligent. It comes to the most consistent. When you choose to live intentionally, Every day becomes a seed for a better future. When you honor the process, you begin to attract the promise. Your life will change, not because of luck or timing, but because of daily commitment. So wake up tomorrow ready to win. Speak life over your vision. Take one deliberate action towards your dream. And when you do that, day after day, you'll look back one day and realize those 3 daily habits didn't just change your day. They changed your destiny. Win the morning, win the day. That's more than a catchy phrase. It's a principle that separates the average from the extraordinary. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They own their mornings. They understand that how you start determines how you finish. Your morning is not just the beginning of your day, it's the foundation of your focus, your energy, and your results. When you open your eyes, you're given a gift, another 24 hours to build, to grow, to advance your purpose. But most people waste the most powerful hour of their day reacting instead of creating. They wake up and grab their phone before they grab their thoughts. They scroll through negativity before they speak gratitude. And before they've even gotten out of bed, they've already surrendered their peace to the chaos of the world. You can't win a day that begins in confusion. You can't live a day of purpose when your first thoughts are distractions. So if you want to take control of your life, start by taking control of your morning. The first hour of your day should be intentional, protected, and sacred. That's not the time for noise. It's the time for alignment. You're setting the tone for the next 16 hours of your life. And how you set that tone determines whether you lead your day or your day leads you. When you rise early, you give yourself a head start on the world. You're no longer chasing time, you're commanding it. That early hour is your moment to connect with your Creator, to align your thoughts with your purpose, and to remind yourself who you are and where you're going. Before you check messages from the world, check in with the mess. Age within you. Before you consume information, speak your intention. Before you fill your mind with the demands of others, fill it with the promises that belong to you. Winning the morning is about mastering your internal environment before you step into the external one. Because once you leave your house, the world will try to pull you in 1,000 directions. But if you start the day centered, grounded, and focused, nothing can shake you. You move with peace when others panic. You act with clarity when others react with confusion. You lead with purpose while others wander without direction. Your morning routine doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need an hour-long list of rituals. You just need consistency. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier to pray, read, or write down your goals. Maybe it's exercising to energize your body or journaling to organize your thoughts. What matters is not how long you do it, but how intentionally you do it. When you choose to honor that first hour, you're telling life, I'm in charge today. I decide how this day unfolds. Because when you win the morning, you build momentum. You carry that energy into your work, your relationships, your decisions. You speak differently, you think differently, and you attract differently. And over time, those mornings you disciplined yourself to win start stacking up. And that's when the transformation happens. Success doesn't show up in one big moment. It's built in the quiet hours, when no one's watching, in the mornings, when you chose to prepare instead of procrastinate. So don't just wake up, rise up. Don't just start your day, command it. Every sunrise is a reminder that you've been given another chance to create, to become, and to lead. And when you choose to win the morning, the day doesn't stand a chance against you. Feed your mind before you feed your body, because what you think about first thing in the morning determines what kind of life you build. The mind is the engine that drives everything else. If your thoughts are cluttered, your actions will be scattered. If your thoughts are focused, your actions will be powerful. Most people don't realize this. They wake up and feed their body before they ever feed their mind. They eat food for energy, but forget that mental energy comes from what you allow into your head and heart. The truth is, your life will always move in the direction of your dominant thoughts. Whatever you constantly think about, you eventually talk about. Whatever you talk about, you eventually act on. And whatever you act on repeatedly becomes your reality. That's why you can't afford to start your day with junk thoughts. Just like you wouldn't eat spoiled food and expect to feel healthy, you can't consume negativity and expect to have a positive day. The news, gossip, complaints, and distractions, all of that is mental junk food. It might satisfy your curiosity for a moment, but it starves your spirit. When you feed your mind, you Reprogramming your day. You're deciding what kind of energy you'll carry, what kind of opportunities you'll attract, and what kind of person you'll become. You have to be the gatekeeper of your thoughts because your thoughts are seeds. Every morning your mind is like a fresh garden. The first thoughts you plant will grow throughout the day. If you plant seeds of gratitude, purpose, and vision, you'll walk through the day with power and peace. But if you plant seeds of worry, doubt, and distraction, you'll spend the whole day trying to pull weeds instead of producing fruit. Feeding your mind means being intentional about what you consume. Read something that challenges you. Listen to something that builds your faith. Speak something that reminds you of your greatness. Before you pick up your phone, pick up a book or your journal. Before you scroll through social media, scroll through your goals. Before you check who's messaging you, check who you're becoming. Because the truth is, hat you put into your mind when you first wake up sets the vibration for your entire day. If you feed your mind with wisdom, your words will be wise. If you feed your mind with faith, your actions will be bold. But if you feed your mind with fear, you'll live small and hesitant. You can't expect extraordinary results when your mind is filled with ordinary thinking. Your thoughts are the architect of your future, and every day you get to decide whether you're building a palace or a prison. Most people go through life reacting to whatever information shows up instead of choosing what to feed on. But if you want your life to change, you have to control your input. Your mind is a magnet. It attracts whatever matches its dominant frequency. So if you want success, fill it with ideas of success. If you want peace, fill it with thoughts of gratitude and abundance. The more you elevate what you think, the more your life will begin to reflect that elevation. Feeding your mind before your bow. DY is about spiritual and mental nourishment. Food gives you strength for a few hours. Wisdom gives you strength for a lifetime. A full stomach can't help you if your mind is starving for clarity. Every morning is an opportunity to upgrade your thinking, to realign your belief system, and to remind yourself of your vision. Because when your mind is full of light, your path becomes clear. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for breakfast, reach for something that feeds your future. Read a chapter, listen to something inspiring, speak your affirmations out loud. Do it consistently. Because your life is always following your thoughts, and your thoughts are always following your focus. When you feed your mind first, your spirit takes the lead, and everything else in your life starts to align with that higher frequency. Take one intentional action daily, because success doesn't come from massive effort once in a while. It comes from small, deliberate actions repeated every single day. Most people are waiting for a perfect moment, a burst of motivation, or a sign from the universe before they move. But the truth is, progress doesn't respond to feelings, it responds to faith and consistency. Every day you take one purposeful step toward your vision, you're building momentum, strengthening your identity, and proving to yourself that you are serious about your destiny. The difference between people who dream and people who achieve is not talent, luck, or opportunity, it's daily action. You can pray, plan, and prepare, but at some point you have to move. Motion creates clarity. When you take a step, even a small one, doors begin to open, ideas start to flow, and opportunities reveal themselves. Most people stand still, overthinking their next move, while those who take small steps every day are already halfway to their goal. You can't steer a parked car, and you can't direct a life that isn't in motion. Intentional action means you're not just busy, you're productive. You're not doing random things hoping something works. You're doing the right things with purpose. Every morning you should ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today that moves me closer to my dream? It doesn't have to be big, it just has to be consistent. Maybe it's making one phone call, writing one page, studying 1 hour, or creating one piece of content. When done every day, those small actions compound into results that look miraculous to everyone else but make perfect sense to you. You see, the greatest transformations in life don't come from dramatic moments. They come from quiet disciplines. Success hides in repetition. You may not see the results immediately, but every action plants a seed. And when you stay consistent long enough, the harvest becomes undeniable. Most people quit too early because they mistake slow progress for no progress. But faith means trusting the process even when you can't yet see the payoff. The results are not your responsibility, the AC. MYRON is. Taking one intentional action daily also builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your self-belief. Confidence doesn't come from affirmations alone, it comes from action. When you see yourself follow through day after day, you start believing, if I said I'll do it, I will. That's the foundation of unstoppable self-trust. You stop doubting, stop delaying, and start walking like someone who knows where they're going. And here's the thing, the universe responds to movement. When you move with intention, you send a signal that you're ready. Opportunities start finding you, people start noticing you, and resources begin aligning in your favor. But none of that happens if you're sitting still. Divine doors don't open for hesitation, they open for momentum. When you take that one step, the next one becomes clearer. When you act, clarity follows. It's better to take one imperfect action in faith than to take no action out of fear. Perfection is a myth that keeps people stagnant. You'll never have all the answers before you start, but the answers will come as you move. The path to greatness is built one faithful step at a time. Every day you choose discipline over doubt, action over excuses, and focus over fear. You're reprogramming your future. So take one intentional action daily. Let it be small, but let it be consistent. Because over time, daily discipline becomes divine momentum. You'll look back one day and realize that what seemed impossible wasn't conquered in one giant leap. It was built one faithful step at a time. Every day you act with purpose, you prove that your vision is real. Keep moving, keep building, and keep showing up. Because consistent action is the bridge between where you are and where you're destined to be. Speak life, not limitation. Because your words are seeds, and every seed you speak will eventually grow into something you'll have to live in. Most people don't realize how much power is hidden in their tongue. The words you speak are not just sounds, they are spiritual instructions shaping your reality. Every time you open your mouth, you are either building your future or breaking it down. You are either commanding your destiny forward or cursing it backward. If you constantly say, can't, it's too hard, and nothing ever works out for me, don't be surprised when your life begins to mirror those declarations. You've been prophesying your own limitations without realizing it. Words carry energy, and that energy becomes experience. But when you speak words of life, of purpose, of faith, you create a frequency that attracts possibility. You begin to draw in the very opportunities and outcomes that align with what you've been declaring. Your mouth is a steering wheel. It determines the direction your life takes. You can't speak defeat all week and expect victory on the weekend. You can't talk about lack and expect abundance. You can't confess weakness and expect strength. What you verbalize consistently becomes what you visualize internally, and eventually it manifests externally. That's why it's not enough to think positive. You must speak positive. Thoughts are silent prayers, but words are declarations that echo through creation. Every morning, the first voice you hear should be your own, declaring what kind of day it's going to be. Don't wait for the world to speak life into you. Speak life into yourself. Say, I am blessed, I am focused, I am capable, I am equipped. You don't speak those things because you feel them. You speak them until you feel them. You don't declare victory because it's visible. You declare it until it becomes visible. The spoken word activates faith, and faith activates miracles. When you speak life, you shift your atmosphere. Negativity loses its grip because you've set a higher frequency. Problems may still come, but your words prepare you to face them with power instead of panic. You begin to speak from vision, not from circumstance. You no longer describe what's wrong. You declare what's about to be made right. Instead of saying, I'm tired, you say, I'm recharging. Instead of saying, I'm struggling, you say, I'm learning. Instead of saying, I'm losing, you say, I'm growing. The situation may not change immediately, but your perspective will. And that shift alone has the power to change everything. The truth is, you can't rise higher than the language you use about yourself. You will never outperform your own confession. If your words are small, your life will be small. But if your words are bold, your future will expand to match them. That's why successful people guard their speech. They understand that every word is a contract with their destiny. So start canceling every contract you've signed with doubt, fear, and insecurity. Replace it with new agreements built on faith, strength, and abundance. When you speak life, you are not denying reality, you are defining it. You are saying, yes, things may look difficult, but I'm not speaking from what I see, I'm speaking from what I believe. Life and death are in the power of the tongue, and every day you get to choose which one you speak. The more you speak faith, the stronger it becomes. The more you speak possibility, the more your mind begins to see opportunity where others see obstacles. So be intentional with your language. Speak blessings over your RN from it. You'll end up repeating it. Most people rush through life without ever pausing to examine what their days are teaching them. They go to sleep with the same frustrations they woke up with, carrying yesterday's confusion into tomorrow's opportunities. But wise people understand that reflection is the bridge between experience and growth. Every night before you close your eyes, you have an opportunity to review your life, realign your focus, and reset your energy. Reflection is not about judgment, it's about awareness. It's not about asking what went wrong, it's about asking, what did I learn? When you slow down long enough to evaluate your day, you begin to notice patterns, the thoughts that drain you, the actions that strengthen you, the moments that distracted you, and the choices that brought you peace. Awareness is power because you can't transform what you don't first identify. Every night is a mirror. It shows you who you've been so you can decide who you're becoming. Taking time to reflect allows you to celebrate progress instead of only focusing on perfection. Maybe you didn't do everything right today, but did you try? Did you show up? Did you move one step closer to your goal? Those small wins matter. Gratitude in the evening multiplies momentum in the morning. When you thank God for what you accomplished, even the smallest thing, you train your mind to look for growth instead of failure. That shift in focus changes how you wake up the next day. You go to sleep with peace and you rise with purpose. Recalibration means realignment. It's the moment where you adjust your direction before you drift too far off course. Life has a way of pulling you in different directions, distractions, disappointments, responsibilities, and without recalibration, you end up living by reaction instead of intention. Each night, ask yourself, am I still on track? Are my actions still matching my vision? Am I living today like the person I'm becoming? Or am I slipping back into old habits? Those questions keep your spirit accountable and your purpose alive. Reflection is where clarity is born. When you pause at night, silence the noise, and look inward, you'll often hear the whispers of divine guidance you missed during the busyness of the day. Sometimes the wisdom you're searching for isn't missing. It's just buried beneath the noise. Taking those few moments of stillness allows your mind to process, your spirit to recharge, and your heart to release. That's how you rest deeply, not just physically, but spiritually. Recalibrating also means forgiveness. You can't rest when you're carrying regret. You can't move forward if you're replaying what you should have done differently. Every night, forgive yourself for what didn't go as planned. Release the pressure to be perfect and commit to being consistent instead. Progress happens when you let go of guilt and focus on growth. Tell yourself, tomorrow I'll do better, not because I failed, but because I learned. When you make reflection a habit, you become intentional with your life. You stop drifting and start directing. You begin to notice how far you've come and how much more potential you have to grow. You end each day lighter, clearer, and stronger than you began it. The quiet moments before sleep become sacred. Your time to recalibrate your mind, reconnect with your purpose, and restore your peace. So before you close your eyes tonight, take a deep breath. Review your day with gratitude. Identify what needs improvement. Forgive what needs to be released. And set your intention for tomorrow. Because every night you reflect, you grow wiser. Every night you recalibrate, you grow stronger. And when you make this a daily discipline, you won't just wake up rested. You'll wake up renewed, focused, and ready to continue building the life you were created to live. Honor small wins, expect big miracles, because greatness is never built in a single moment of glory. It's built in the quiet victories that most people overlook. Too often, we wait to celebrate the big breakthrough, the public recognition, the visible success. But we forget that every major miracle is made up of 1,000 small, faithful steps that no one saw but you. When you learn to honor the little progress, you show gratitude for the process, and gratitude always multiplies results. The truth is, transformation rarely looks impressive in the beginning. It looks slow, subtle, and sometimes invisible. But every small act of discipline, every early morning, every quiet decision to keep going when no one's clapping, those are the bricks that build your destiny. You can't leap to the finish line, you have to walk through the process. When you celebrate small wins, you train your mind to recognize growth instead of waiting for perfection. That mindset keeps your faith alive and your motivation strong, even when results take time to show. Small wins are not insignificant, T. They're sacred. Every time you make the right choice when it would have been easier to quit, that's a victory. Every time you speak life instead of negativity, that's progress. Every time you show up, even when you don't feel like it, that's strength. These moments might not make headlines, but they make history, your history. Because success is not an event, it's a pattern of daily victories. When you honor the small, you qualify yourself for the big. Faithfulness in little things is what prepares you for the miracles waiting in bigger things. Too many people want the reward without the routine, the platform without the preparation, the blessing without the building. But life doesn't work that way. The universe responds to consistency and appreciation. When you prove that you can manage the small, you're signaling that you're ready for more. Every time you give thanks for what you have, heaven opens the door for what's next. Expecting big miracles doesn't mean living in fantasy. It means living in faith. It means believing that your daily obedience is leading to something divine. It means trusting that while you're doing your part, God is doing his part, multiplying your effort, aligning opportunities, and preparing breakthroughs you can't yet see. Expectation is a spiritual magnet. When you expect miracles, you start to recognize them. What others call coincidence, you'll call confirmation. What others see as ordinary, you'll see as opportunity. Expectation is what turns routine into revelation. It keeps you walking with anticipation instead of anxiety. You begin to wake up each day not wondering if something good will happen, but knowing something good is already happening. That mindset shifts your entire vibration. You stop chasing blessings and start attracting them, because gratitude and faith are the two frequencies that bring miracles into motion. Every great story you've ever heard, every built, every dream fulfilled, every transformation achieved, all began with small wins honored and miracles expected. The process looked ordinary, but the outcome was extraordinary, and that same power is working in your life right now. Even when it doesn't feel like it, progress is happening. The seed doesn't look like the tree, but it carries the tree's entire potential inside of it. So keep watering, keep believing, keep celebrating every small sign of growth, because the miracle is in motion even when you can't see it. So tonight, as you reflect on your day, thank God for every small win, for every step forward, every challenge you overcame, every moment you didn't give up. Those small moments are divine evidence that the process is working. And as you continue to honor those wins, keep your heart open and your faith high, because big miracles are already being prepared for you. The small wins are the signal that breakthrough is near. Keep going, keep believing, because one day what you once called a small victory will be the very foundation of a miracle that changed your entire life. Every day you wake up, you're given a fresh opportunity to design your destiny, and that destiny is shaped by the habits you live, not the wishes you make. Change doesn't come from luck or chance, it comes from daily intention. When you decide to win the morning, you set the tone for everything that follows. When you feed your mind before your body, you fill your spirit with the strength to rise above distraction. When you take one intentional action daily, you build momentum that no obstacle can stop. When you speak life instead of limitation, you align your words with your purpose and activate divine favor. When you reflect and recalibrate every night, you grow in wisdom and peace. And when you honor small wins while expecting big miracles, you position yourself for blessings beyond what you can imagine. The truth is, transformation is not found in dramatic moments, it's found in daily mastery. The ordinary day, when lived with extraordinary intention, becomes the seed of an extraordinary life. You don't need a new year to change. You just need a new level of daily discipline. When you live with purpose, gratitude, and faith, each day becomes another step toward your highest potential. So from this day forward, commit to your habits like your future depends on them, because it does. Command your morning, protect your mind, act with purpose, speak with faith, reflect with humility, and celebrate with gratitude. Those simple habits will do more than change your schedule. They'll change your story. Because greatness isn't achieved overnight, it's built one intentional day at a time. And if you stay faithful to these 3 daily habits, one day you'll look around and realize that the life you once dreamed of is now the life you're living, not by accident, but by consistency, commitment, and divine alignment. The habits you master today will create the miracles you experience tomorrow. So start now. Stay steady and remember, your future is hidden in your daily routine.